As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad, from Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. This webinar series is being hosted on every Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time, that is GMT plus 5.5 hours. Today, 4th February 2021, this webinar is on the topic, very important topic of the day, seeing the economic benefits of agroforestry. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor of the University, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, the faculty members of the University, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Welcome our today's guest speaker, Dr. Ayanada Arunachalam, Director, Central Agroforestry Research Institute, ICAR, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Mahendra Singh, former Principal Scientist, Agricultural Economics, National Institute of Agricultural Economics and Policy Research, ICAR. And very young entrepreneur, Mr. Manika Vasagam Perinbam, CEO, Harvesters AgriVentures, Kodaikanal, Tamil Nadu. So far, under this webinar series, the university has organized 18 webinars on the topic, role of agricultural cooperative societies and e-governance, blockchain technology-based fishery value chain, a self-contained village, a felt need of the day, spices informatics network value chain, Lantana camera, a camouflaged treasure trove, smart hill agriculture, Mera mobile, Mera marketing, integrated mariculture, aquaponics, and precision agriculture. In short, MAPA biofarms for income revolution. In this webinar series, we talked about seaweed farming, and I'm very happy that in the recent budget of the Union government, they also sanctioned seaweed farming park in Tamil Nadu, in the Bay of Bengal. Smart tribal agriculture, optimizing value chain, digital agri-tech and industry perspective, land resources information system in India, present and road ahead, weather decision technologies for increasing farm income, big data in smart farming, sustainable soil and land management for climate smart agriculture, understanding market dynamics for increasing farm income, role of technologies in mitigating crop risk, how to generate additional profit via simple, attractive approaches in farm produce, adoption of fluxing rubber jet dam technology, potential benefit for farmers in rain-fed and coastal agro ecosystem. This was held on 28th January 2021, wherein the speaker talked about that every drop of water which we get from atmosphere has to be locked. It should not go to the sea without our permission. That was the message. It is more than it is lock every drop of water. And today is the 19th edition of this national webinar series, which will be addressed by a panel of 3 members consisting of a distinguished agricultural scientist, agricultural economist, and an NGO on the topic realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry. If you look at the words of the title, one is that realize, seize the opportunities, the economic benefits, and the third keyword is agroforestry. Agroforestry is perhaps as old as agriculture itself. The practice has been prevalent for many centuries in different parts of the world, especially under subsistence farming conditions. Agroforestry systems is recognized as an important integrated farming practice since time immemorial to fulfill the necessity of food, fodder, fuel wood, fiber, and timber, along with aesthetic and environmental services. The system is supported by government due to its role in improvement in soil health, nutrient cycling, carbon sequestration, and better economic return to existing cropping system with less use of natural resources. World Agroforestry Center defines agroforestry as a dynamic, ecologically based through the integration of trees on farms and in the agricultural landscape, diversifies and sustains production for increased social, economic, and environmental benefits for land users at all levels. The Association of Temperate Agroforestry, AFTA, defines it is an intensive land management system that optimizes the benefits from the biological interactions created when trees and oblique or shrubs are deliberately combined with the crops and or livestock. Climate smart agriculture is an integrated approach to address these interlinked challenges of food security and climate change that explains for 3 objectives: sustainably increasing agriculture productivity, adopting and building resilience of agriculture and food security systems, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture. Agroforestry contributes all 3 climate smart agriculture pillars, namely productivity, adaptation, and mitigations. Agroforestry is a very useful strategy for farmers to increase the productivity from their land as well as to increase their resilience to climate change impacts. It can provide extra benefits, including cash in hand from the farm family through various tree products, fodder, fuel wood, food, building material, and the more. Agroforestry technologies can help these farmers increase their productivity and sustainability of their operations, and also can build up soil fertility and prevent soil erosion. To promote agroforestry, various major policy initiatives were formulated such as National Agriculture Policy 2000, Planning Commission's Task Force on Greening India 2001, National Bamboo Mission 2002, National Policy for Farmers 2007, Green Mission India Mission 2010, and finally National Agroforestry Policy 2014. This policy aims to converge between various programs, schemes, and agencies containing agroforestry elements in order to enhance the productivity, income, and livelihood of smallholder farmers. Basis on systems on the ground. This policy is recommended for setting up of a mission or board to address development of agroforestry sector in an organized manner. Even the National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture also suggested a sub-mission on agroforestry. Now, so far, we have been talking about forestry in plain farmland. Today, we will also have a talk from Mr. Perinbam. He will talk about how to do farming in forest land. So it is a two vertical. You would say that one is agroforestry, forestry in farmland, and farming in forest land. And on 20th January 2021, Dr. K. Rajkumar, the Director, Indian Rubber Manufacturers Research Association, Thane, spoke on very important topic, adoption of flexi rubber check dam technology, potential benefit for farmers in rainfed and coastal agro ecosystems. Adoption of this technology can increase the crop production, crop diversification, and cropping intensity, and in turn enhance the rural income. Rubber check dam market is rising in the world. Now let us see that agriculture sector in India is the foundation of Indian economy. It employs more than 50% of India's workforce and contributes almost 17 to 80% of the GDP. Many national level programs, namely Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, and Startup India, have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, and that too at small and marginal farmers. We have two important steps towards Indian agricultural reforms have taken place during the last 4 years. One is doubling the farmers' income by 2022. Commission task force, and it submitted its report during 2018. I was associated with two subgroups as its chairman. One is on empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, volumes 11 of the commission report, and volume 12B, chapter 7, 8, 9, 10 talks about digital technology in agriculture. These chapters talk about 7 mission mode project for digitalization of the entire agriculture system in India. One is digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, and Startups India program for transformational reforms in agriculture sector through three mission mode vertical programs: smart irrigated agri systems, smart rainfed agri systems, and smart tribal agri systems. Second is digitalized agromet advisories and risk management systems. Digitalized agricultural resources information system and macro level planning, facilitating smart farming, smart village. Fourth is digitalized value chain for about 400 agricultural commodities. Fifth is digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management. And sixth is digitalized integrated land and water management, per drop, more crop. And seventh is digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss, integrating farmer health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fishery health. It is one health, and eco health. And there are another 3 farm acts also enacted during 2020. Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act, and Essential Commodities Amendment Act. These 3 Act and 7 mission mode programs as suggested in the Doubling the Farmer's Income by 2022 will facilitate at least one agri-tech startup in every Gram Panchayat, agriculture sector, with these 7 mission mode programs of digitalization in agriculture and 3 acts which have been enacted during the COVID pandemic period can facilitate 2.25 lakhs agri-tech startups in the country. That is the opportunities, the space is available. Agroforestry is one such component, can facilitate agri startups in a very big manner, whether farming in forestry or farming in plain land. And this is an important topic, and that is where the today's webinar is very important. Realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry. Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. Modi's 5 I's to make India self-reliant. Intent, investment, inclusion, infrastructure, and innovation based on quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, systems, vibrant demography, and demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. Vocal for local and make it global. And then Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture, under which about 1.5 lakh crore has been announced for various agricultural sector for infrastructure development. Benefits of agroforestry, environmental benefits, economic benefits, and social benefits. Agroforestry interventions in farmland have far-reaching environmental and ecological impacts. The role of agroforestry in soil conservation, amelioration, and climate moderation is most widely acclaimed. Agroforestry is known to have potential to migrate the climate change through microclimate moderation, natural resource management in short run, and through carbon sequestration in long run. Agroforestry has a great potential to provide employment to rural and urban population through industrial application and value addition. Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Central Agroforestry Research Institute, Jhansi, has the mission and mandate as follows. Develop sustainable agroforestry practices for farms, marginal land, and wastelands in different agroclimatic zones of India. Integration of agriculture crops, grasses, and or animal with woody perennial simultaneously or sequentially in a unit form of land is known as agroforestry, it claims. Today's topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com, Sobit University India, or youtube.com, Sobit University in, for establishing agri-tech startups in agroforestry farming as a business, which can facilitate at least one agri-tech startup in each Gram Panchayat, resulting in about 2.25 agri-tech startup in India. Let me invite Dr. Mahendra Singh, a distinguished agricultural scientist, economist, and principal scientist, ICAR, National Institute of Agriculture, Economic and Policy Plan. Let me introduce Dr. Mahendra Singh. He will talk about 25 to 30 minutes. He will talk on contribution of popular-based agroforestry system in enhancing farmers' income, a case study from Yamunanagar district of Haryana. Dr. Mahendra Singh.
Thank you, sir.
Just 1 minute. Dr. Mahendra Singh is
Yes, sir.
ex-principal scientist, agricultural economics, ICAR, National Institute of Agricultural Economics and Policy Research. He has served as an agricultural economist with the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Department of Agricultural Research and Education, Minister of Agriculture, Farmer Welfare, Government of India for more than 35 years. His specific research contribution: valuation of carbon sequestration from agroforestry systems, valuation of fuel wood supply from agroforestry systems, measurement of sustainability of agricultural system by using total factor productivity approach, impact assessment of crop variety developed by agricultural institutes. He has actively involved in the field of agricultural research, education, extension, and earned professional expertise in specific areas of project formulation, coordination, monitoring, implementation, and impact evaluation of agricultural research and developmental projects. Successfully accomplished the task of a district project coordinator and member secretary, Agriculture Technology Management Agency, ATMA, during 2003 to May 2006, with the diversified agriculture support project, Government of Uttar Pradesh, a World Bank aided project. Dr. Mahendra Singh has done enormous work in this field, and he has also received recognition and awards, notably Foundation Day Award in 2018 and for Best Popular Article Award on the paper published in Indian Farming, special issue on doubling farmers' income, January issue, and 2018, Agroforestry for doubling farmers' income, a proven technology for Trans-Gangetic Plains zone of India. When I read this paper, I was very much motivated, and then I sent an email to Dr. Mahendra Singh to participate in this program, and today he is here. So we welcome Dr. Mahendra Singh to address our audience in the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, realizing the economic benefits. And he is also has got lot of awards. For one of time, I am skipping it, but it will come in the publications of this webinar series. And he is also professional members, Indian Society of Agriculture Economics, Agriculture Economic Research Association, Indian Society of Agriculture Development Policy, Indian Society of Agroforestry, Jhansi, and Range Management Society of India, and so on and so forth. We welcome Dr. Mahendra Singh to address the audience. Over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very good morning, one and all participating in the webinar. At the very outset, I would like to express my gratitude to Sri Kumar Sekhar Vijayendra, Honorable Chancellor of this prestigious university, for providing me opportunity to interact with this August gathering. It is matter of great pride to be in the presence of reputed scientists and experts like Professor A. M. Moni, chairman of the Soviet University, and Director General of Indian National Informatics Center, Government of India. Dr. A. Arunachalam, Director of reputed ICR Central Agroforestry Research Institute, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh, and Sri M. Perin Baim, CEO, Harvesters Agri Venture, Tamil Nadu. I am looking forward to enrich myself with knowledge from this diverse panel of experts. I would like to thank to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dean, directors, faculty, and students of this prestigious university for organizing this webinar on such a topic of paramount national importance. At the culmination, I would like to note that Soviet University indeed symbolizes its motto of empowering nation through education. Empowering nation through education. Today, I would be presenting my findings, views on enhancing farmers' income through popular best agroforestry system, a case from Yamunanagar district of Haryana. As we know, agroforestry is a land use system in which woody perennials are deliberately integrated with crop or livestock or both on the same land management unit. According to Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, ecosystem services generally generated from agroforestry can be categorized into four groups, such as provisioning services like food, fodder, fuel, timber, and medicine, regulatory services like carbon sequestration, air purification, climate regulation, pollination of crops, and flood control, supporting services like soil formation, biodiversity, bioremediation of degraded land, cultural services like recreation, education, aesthetic, and religious. Today, we will discuss on contribution of timber wood of provisioning and carbon sequestration from regulating services only. We will focus on a comparison of existing permanent rice system with popular based agroforestry and estimation of value of carbon sequestered from this agroforestry system. This is location map of study area, uh, which located in the Trans-Gangetic Plain. This table shows the comparison of net in soil rice system with popular based agroforestry system during 2008-9 to 2014-15, a 7 year of the popular rotation. We can observe that from soil rice system, farmer get net income of about 3 lakhs. In comparison, in 7 lakhs, in 7 year of the land is from the popular based agroforestry system. If you include the price of carbon sequestered by agroforestry farmer, he can get with additionally 3 lakhs. If you add these two income, farmer can get rupees 10 lakhs. It is verified that farmer can double his income in 7 years with adoption of popular based agroforestry system and triple of government pay if government pay for carbon sequestered by farmers through agroforestry. This is a decadal trend. This is a decadal trend uh, in nominal or market price of Sokta, over, Sokta, under, and over category of the popular. Maximum price received by farmers during 2012-13 and start declining continuously till 2019. This is trend of real price of popular. The real price decreased to half. You can see from here. The price of Sokta category was 125 in 2005-6, which declined to 84 in 15-16. And under category of the popular from 220 rupee 225 to 118. And from the over category of popular, it came down from the 300 to 150. The highest price of the all category of wood occurred in the year 2010-11 in the comparison to the last slide 12-13 in the nominal price. This is specification of the this photograph shows the specification of the various category of popular wood like Sokta, under and over. This is Sokta category, this is under and this is over. There are different perceptions of various stakeholders on price crash of raw wood in the market. But fact is, there is oligopoly market and all related industries making some normal profit during the price crash. It can be verified that growth rate in wood-based industries like wood, paper, furniture getting highest price during the price crash. During 2010-11, farmer getting maximum price at the same time wood-based industry is very struggling. You can see from here, 2011 to 14-15. This photograph shows the plight of wood farmers when the price is crash. From this table, we can observe the policy fatigue during the price crash of raw wood. Our government continuously promoting importing wood and pulp this period on lower custom duty merely 5 to 10%. It is estimated that annual compound growth rate was about 3% and 6% for imported wood and pulp, respectively. This table shows the growth and yield parameters. These parameters, growth and yield parameters are popular. Farmer can get about 450 quintals and 1,100 quintals from the boundary plantation and agriculture. This table shows the farmer can receive rupees about 1 lakhs and 3 lakhs from the boundary plantation and agriculture from carbon sequestration by them. As you know, carbon trade started in our country since 2008. However, much volatility has observed in this market. Therefore, sensitivity analysis conducted to get the minimum and maximum price from the carbon sequestered by farmers. Now, on the basis of findings, I can suggest some priority research area. There are urgent need for collection of time series data on price and arrival of species by food in major market. There are asymmetric and oligospory market structure symptoms of cartel, which would be tested. Alternative agroforestry model to be tested. Diversify the existing monoculture popular and equilibrium-based model in the region. And some policy measures. Price fixation of wood should be on the basis of revenue sharing formula only for soil rotation tree to minimize the risk. I would like to say what is about the revenue sharing formula. Actually, the revenue sharing formula was recommended by the High Power Committee on Regulation of Indian Sugar Industry under chairmanship of C. Rangarajan in 2012. Committee suggested that sugar mills should share the revenue earned from selling sugar and also its byproducts like bagasse and molasses in the proportion of 75 to 25 in favor of the growers. There is a need to have suitable policy for carbon credit pricing along with proper implementation mechanism finally, market intelligence unit related to be strengthened at national level. Data should be displayed on this website like other agriculture committee to bridging the market information gap. Now, we can conclude that despite the price crash of the popular route, the popular based agroforestry system when compared with permanent rice system proved that it is able to double the farmer's income in 7 years and it is tripled with carbon price if farmers get their value of carbon sequestered by agroforestry system. With these words, I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahendra Singh, for your very important address to the audience on the very important topic, which you talked on enhancing farmers' income through popular-based agroforestry systems. And you have suggested 3 areas for priority research and also 3, measures which needs policy approach. And you also mentioned about that the portals like agmarknet.gov.in and other commodity portals to be used to bridge the market information gap. It's very good that you mentioned it. I was totally associated with the agmarknet.gov.in from 1998 onwards. The scheme was visualized and prepared in my room. It was done early morning 2 o'clock, and next day morning it went to the Secretary Agriculture for approval. I'm very happy that after now 22 years I'm able to hear that that an agriculture economist is mentioning about it. Thank you very much. Please stay with us, and I'm very happy that Dr. Arunachalam, the Director, Central Agroforestry Research Institute, has joined. Thank you very much, Dr. Arunachalam, and I would like to, since you are busy and you are having meeting with the Honorable Director General, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, I invited Dr. Mahendra Singh to address. Now let me introduce Dr. Arunachalam, the Director, Central Agroforestry Research Institute of ICAR, to the audience. Dr. Arunachalam is the director of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, located at Jhansi, and he has very important contribution to the country. Dr. Ayanadar Arunachalam is currently the director, ICAR, Indian Council of Indian Central Agroforestry Research Institute, Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. His research areas include agroforestry, restoration ecology, and natural resource management. Very important areas. Dr. Arunachalam was born, in Sivahasi, Tamil Nadu on 18th May 1990, and he educated at Ayanadar Janaki Ammal College, Madurai Kamaraj University, Sivahasi, and did his PhD from Northeastern Hill University, Shillong, and he has gotten many adjunct positions. Postgraduate faculty in Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi, adjunct professor in Navsari Agriculture University, Gujarat, honorary professor, Amity University, Noida, visiting professor at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, Doon University, Arunachal University of Studies, Carnegie University, Coimbatore, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, USA, and member Environmental Impact Assessment Authority, Government of Arunachal Pradesh. In Indian Council of Agricultural Research, he has, held responsibilities as principal scientist and assistant director general, international relations. And he was also Department of Science and Technology Vice Cast Fellow, postdoc in Restoration Ecology at University of Massachusetts, Boston, USA. He was also a visiting fellow in Biodiversity Program at Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Arunachal Pradesh. He was also principal scientist in ICAR Research Complex in Northeastern Hill Region, Meghalaya, and he has received for his wonderful contribution in the country a number of awards and honors. And to mention few, Dr. KG Tejwani Award for Management of Natural Resources, Pran Vora Award in Agriculture and Forestry Sciences, Eminent Scientist of the Year Award 2012, Award for his excellence research, Dr. Venkateshwaralu Award for Excellence in Dryland Agriculture Research, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award and Gold Medal, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan National Award for Outstanding Research in Hill Agriculture, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Excellence, Education Excellence Award, Professor K.S. Srivastava Gold Medal, International Plant Scientist Award, Distinguished Scientist Award 2017 Food and Agriculture Sciences, Best Indian Golden Personalities Award, and he also held a lot of honorary positions. Secretary, Society for Science of Climate Change and Sustainable Environment. And he is also editor of many Indian national and international journals. And above all, he was the fellow of National Academy of Agriculture Sciences, National Academy of Biological Sciences, Chennai, National Academy of Dairy Sciences, Karnal, National Environmental Science Academy, and so on and so forth. Dr. Arunachalam, we are very happy to be with us today morning with your very busy schedule. And I have, during my introduction, I have mentioned the mission and the mandate which the Central Agroforestry Research Institute has for the country. The mission, as it is published in your website, is integration of woody perennials in the farming system to improve land productivity through conservation of soils, nutrients, and biodiversity to augment natural resource conservation, restoration of ecological balance, alleviation of poverty, and to mitigate risk of weather vagaries. And those who are involved in agroforestry research and development, and also various NGOs working in the area of agroforestry, has to understand the mission of this National Institute on Central Agroforestry Research of the country. And they are also working on 4 mandates: develop sustainable agroforestry practices for farms, marginal land and wasteland in different agroclimatic zones of India, coordinate research, network research for identifying agroforestry technologies for inter-region, training and agroforestry research for ecosystem analysis, transfer of agroforestry technology in various agroclimatic zones. And it was very nice that Dr. Arnachalam was able to join with us. The webinar topic is on in the realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry. So we welcome Dr. Ayan Adar Arnachalam, the director of the Central Institute, to address our audience, the participants from both India and abroad, in the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022. Over to Dr. Arnachalam. Dr. Arnachalam.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Mani. And I must record my special thanks to uh, your Chancellor, Mr. Kaur, for providing me this opportunity to be with you and share my views. We have with us Professor Mahindra Singh, and also Perin is there with us. Professor Mahindra Singh shared very important aspect of how agroforestry can be an economic pathway for development. And it is indeed a pleasure to share some of my thoughts about how agroforestry is going to transform the livelihoods for each one of us and farmers in particular. While doing so, we are also going to get some intangible benefits of environmental security. So it goes hand in hand. To put it short, agroforestry at present meets almost half of the demand of fuel wood, although the government is making its headway to distribute LPG gas stoves to the last mile villages in each of the states of the Indian Union, still the demand for fuel wood is there, and agroforestry comes to the rescue of the immediate needy people. And also, as Professor Mahendra Singh was quoting, that there is a kind of import taking place in case of timber. There are regulations, there are pricing impositions, and agroforestry also takes care of two-thirds of the small timber requirements of people in this country. And 70 to 80% of the wood requirements of the plywood industries is also made out of the agroforestry systems. And 60% of the raw material for pulp, paper pulp, for paper industries is also made out of the agroforestry practices. And over and above, as we all know, uh, the government of India is pitching towards integrating and promoting livestock in all forms of our lifestyle. And so the fodder requirements is also one of the challenging issues where we have a shortage of about 65% shortage is there. And still, while most of the fodder requirements were met through the grasslands, pastures, and also the agricultural crops, seasonal crops, agroforestry also contributes about 10% of the fodder requirements. So there is a major contribution which a system like agroforestry is envisaged to provide or provision to the livelihood of the people and also the livestock together. And in this situation, one must understand when we say agroforestry, it is not a new terminology. Agroforestry has been historically our way of civilization, way of doing things. We always have integrated, we have always appreciated uh, praised and also worshipped the component of tree, the perennial crops, both in the natural habitats and also in our home yards. So even a small kitchen garden would also have some perennial components there. So that takes care of the narration of agroforestry. The age-old Tangya practice, which is popularly known in the Southeastern Asia, also takes care of the conversion of forests for farmlands, retaining a few woodlots in the system. So it's not a new system; it's an age-old practice, but a new terminology has been given, and it harps on the biomass production. Basically, it harps on the biomass production because in agroforestry, when we say there are two different components: agricultural crops and also the forestry crops. And while bringing these two things together, we encounter the challenges of bringing them together in the name of forest farm interface. So a lot of combinations have been worked out, and we have now 184 agroforestry tree species listed that can take care of the requirements of promoting agroforestry. And to the extent we also know which are the best seasonal crops that can be grown with different types of agroforestry tree species. And but since seasonal crops are involved, farmers are also required to take care of the faster growth that the perennial crop can give to them. So we need to have these species or the agroforestry tree species to be a fast growing one. Therefore, uh, we need to address the issue of growth, faster growth, and biomass accumulation. And that in total in the country, the biomass productivity of agroforestry system has been estimated to remain less than 2 tons per hectare per year. But after having all kind of combinations and scientific methodology to practice agroforestry in the farm fields or in the farmers fields, can raise the biomass productivity up to 10 tons per hectare. So 5 times it can be increased if scientific approach is taken for agroforestry. And these are the key traits that always we harp upon while implementing agroforestry in the field. It's an intentional methodology that we approach. We design the tree crop combination, the spacing of individual elements in the field. And we also make a possibility of having intensive uh, care so that the maintenance of the species that we are bringing them together are able to be together and without any allelopathic effects. And the system is more interactive as well because it is because of the presence of tree, it has more ameliorative effect on the microclimate and the geophysical environment. And so uh, uh, the shady environment can also provide the habitat for the animal integration. So a lot of interactiveness is happening in this system. And today we talk about integrating more and more enterprises into the agroforestry practice, both structurally and functionally. That means we can integrate any kind of enterprise, could be mushroom cultivation, could be orchid cultivation, it could be floriculture, it could be apiary, and so on and so forth. So there are so much of benefits that we are reaping uh, by practicing agroforestry. The immediate thing that we are giving to the nation is we are reducing the pressure on the forest, and because of the multiple benefits that the agroforestry system could provide to the stakeholders. And as far as the northeastern India, parts of Jharkhand and Odisha, uh, we also have a form of cultivation which is called shifting cultivation, where the forest trees are cut or the forest fallow vegetation is cut, burnt, and then the cultivation is done for 1 or 2 years, and they come back to the same field after a few years. So this rotational cultivation is prevalent in the northeastern India, parts of Jharkhand, Odisha. And agroforestry comes as a rescuer to to provide solution to these shifting cultivation problems, whereby the traditional indigenous farmers have the tendency of integrating the trees and continuing to grow on a sedentary basis, and it is getting promoted in various forms and formats. And wastelands particularly, we have about 2 million hectares of wastelands in this country, and agroforestry comes to the rescue. We have species like jatropha. We also have species like prosopis, which can also grow in any kind of environmental conditions with limited inputs, limited water resources. And so we can at least bring the wastelands to productive lands and green through green approach, whereby we also harness several environmental services, right from hydrology, rainfall, microclimate, and also intangible other benefits from the soil resources. And in today's context, everything for everything, we put economic value. And so, one of the game changer this agroforestry can give is providing rural employment opportunities. While the major mandate goes to improving the forest cover, we also have bankable agroforestry models which a farmer can easily adapt, practice, and harness the full potential of its productivity for economic returns. So we have best of the models. We have more than 150 odd models with different combinations for different agroclimatic conditions. I've just given here some examples: poplar based, teak based, bamboo based. Bamboo is also a perennial crop. So it may not be a woody perennial, but it still has the integration in the agroforestry in a manner which has much more economic benefit than any other tree crop can give. And today, alternative demands are coming up in across the country. This is one example. People are looking for more and more sandalwood-based systems because they feel this system is going to give them much more economic returns. So we are working on it. We are trying different spacing combinations and to arrive at a BC ratio. And once it comes, then we have already initiated in several farmers field in the northern India for our experimental purposes. So we are still awaiting the final conclusion of that. As I said, uh, this agroforestry is not only having its roots to forest farm interface, but also has a role to play in transforming the rural livelihoods and also providing income generating opportunities, where the National Bamboo Mission is also one of the important government programs that comes to the rescue of the rural India. There are several species, like 20 species I have tried to list, that these are species which can be easily integrated into the agroforestry systems. And these bamboos are can be harvested on a very short rotation and can still give them good economic returns, alternate income generating activity, maybe furnitures, any other opportunities, many other opportunities this bamboo is giving. And some of them are edible bamboos too. So nutritional value of bamboo is very high, and while I was in the northeastern India, I used to consume on an everyday basis. So a lot of opportunities still prevail with that sector. We also are in the process of developing enterprising models which can provide good income and also employment opportunities for the rural youth. Medico agroforestry. We can integrate. There are several tree species which do have medicinal importance, and these days, we don't have to say there are so much products available in the medical shops, where if you take a product of kada, you will find some 20 different plant species name. Many of them will be tree species too. And so this is one of the opportunities that we are harping, and some of the models are already in the field for farm fields, and people are taking benefit of that too. And I am promoting a unique system called aqua agroforestry. Wherever you have small ponds, even in rivulets, you can also have some kind of pisciculture integrating into the tree farming practices, and so it makes it up to agroforestry. And in the wetland regions, like if you go to northern Bihar, Motihari, and other areas, and even in parts of West Bengal and Odisha, we will find most of the waterlogged areas. And these waterlogged areas, we have tree species which can withstand and continue to provide livelihood opportunities to the people. So, wetland based agroforestry systems worldwide, it is being done, and India is also harping on that. Apart from that, several other enterprises can be added to for a vertical and horizontal expansion. So, opportunities are many, and as an initiative, as a campaign, our country has always been forerunner in planting trees, and one family, one tree, a house, Apna one scheme. There are so many types of methodology that tree plantations happen in this country. Even if some VIPs come, we ask them to plant a tree. So this is a green methodology that we follow socially in our country. So this is not new, but we have geared up the way that we plant the trees. And India has gained about 1% green cover in the last 2 years. And if you see between 2015 to 2008, 2018, 86% of the increased forest cover is because of the trees outside the forest. So that means I'm not saying all those trees are in the farmlands, but quite a bit, about 80% of those are uh, harbored in and around the farm fields. And so this is the strength of the farm fields uh, to promote agroforestry or tree farming practices, because uh, historically and scientifically too, we know how the trees can help you in the fields, and socially also, uh, ecologically and economically. So the ecosystem service functions, as also mentioned by Professor Mahendra Singh, that there are so much to give, so much to, they give so much to you, and many of the things cannot be monetized also. There is a kind of benefit accruing in the green room as far as agroforestry is concerned. And agroforestry is also benefiting the smallholders through carbon financing. So a lot of talks happen because India is also committed to bringing down the greenhouse gas emission, and so as a responsible signatory, we are also initiating and slowly moving towards that direction by promoting more and more carbon sequestering mechanisms and methodologies, and one of that is agroforestry or farm forestry, you can say. And financing has to come. Now, the mechanism of carbon financing is not very clear in this country, although IFAD has given a methodology to follow. We are still working on that. The moment it is cleared, we will be able to roll out, and that would benefit all the farmers in the country. So, bringing interface between farmer and the firms, the industries majorly, because most of the agroforestry models have become successful wherever industry are located, paper, wood-based, pulp industries, or bamboo-based industries. Wherever the industry clusters are there, agroforestry has remained successful, and because of high energy synchrony between the industry and the farmers, because it's mostly kind of a contract and buyback guarantee, which some of the firms like JK Papers in Andhra Pradesh, they all give, and so promoting the presence of trees in the farmlands. And with India becoming the first ever country in the entire planet to have this national agroforestry policy in 2014, it was unveiled on 5th February. So it's almost 6 years now, 6 7 years. So we have made several headways in promoting agroforestry, and we have also devised mechanisms of certification, development, and also building the capacities of farmers, building the capacities of processing units in the industries as well. So a lot of headway has been made by the country through a central policy, which some of the states have also adopted and rolled out specific programs to promote agroforestry. Now, according to Forest Survey of India, they determined using the remote sensing and GIS platforms, they gave a value of 11.32 million hectares of trees outside forests. But we, our own institute, Central Agroforestry Research Institute, we also have done the exercise parallelly as advised by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and gave a value of 25.32 million hectares. So it's amazing that we are able to contribute significantly to the tree cover in the country through farmlands. We are still, our institute is still working on the spectral signatures. Now we are moving to species level determinations. Instead of having a tree cover approach, we are going deeper into the species level. And so we are currently working on Prosopis, we are currently working on neem. And sooner than later, we will be bringing out the National Agroforestry Atlas and dedicated to this country for proper planning by the policymakers. Earlier, the concept of we can turn back and say what was the concept before for integrating trees in the farmlands aerial. Earlier, the concept was agricultural crops were integrated in the plantations of along with the trees. But the recent approach is we are going and planting trees in the farmlands. So it's a turnaround situation which is enhancing the role and services provided by the agroforestry per se. This is one unique project which has been implemented by the government of Uttar Pradesh, Kisan Mitra project. And we have adopted 7 districts of Bundelkhand for enabling natural resource conservation based development models, where agroforestry has been flagged at the center point for developing that sustainability model for the rural farmers. So, a lot of activities we have given designs, we have given quality planting materials, not only for timber but also for fruit yielding crops. We also give optional enterprise models as integrated farming system models, and we work hand in hand with the farmers by providing them demonstrations and giving the last mile connectivity for even value addition wherever it was possible. And this is how we have transformed the rural livelihood over these 2 years through crop intensification, agroforestry, and also providing employment opportunities. Just you can see, this one small project could generate 10,000 man days just by installing a few rainwater harvesting units in the study areas. And nearly 3,000 man days of employment generated for migrant laborers in 2020, just based on NRM and agroforestry based activities, and more than 50,000 man days generated with crop intensification and agroforestry. So these are the kind of opportunities as far as employment is concerned. And but the only issue is we need to skill the people also, so that they harness the full potential of this employability. And while doing so, we need to take a approach of consortia. Now, as I said, agroforestry has always remained successful in those areas where the industries are located. So we can target only those areas and improvise their efficiency and efficacy, and so it remains a sustainable model. So a blend of S&T institutions, financial institutions, and the industries have to come and work for the farmers, so that the demand supply of the raw material requirements in terms of fuel wood, pulp, gum resin, etc., are met without fail. And this is one of the successful models which always quoted by even Niti Aayog. This is a consortium of industrial agroforestry. So the industries have enabled all these kind of linkages with scientists, financial institutions, even NGOs, uh, farmer producer organization, and entrepreneurs, line departments, and also the nurseries. So all of them have come together. So, and they have introduced a unique model of consortium of industrial agroforestry, whereby each farmer is now currently, this was introduced in the year 2011, and today the farmers are earning in crores, crores. So it's not that it has been made successful through concerted effort and continued efforts of industries and the S&T institutions together, but the model is now self-sustainable. So Niti Aayog is trying to harp on this model and try to upscale it elsewhere too. And so agribusiness is the headway, and if agroforestry has to be uh, done in this country on a sustainable manner, so it has to also imbibe a few agribusiness capsules, so that some kind of a startup modules dependent on agroforestry can also come into place, which can fulfill the market requirements. So nursery could become one of the startup opportunities for anybody. So because we have already issued the guidelines, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, with the collaboration with us, we have issued these guidelines for establishment of a nursery, and also certifying those quality planting materials which comes out of that. And second, we need to analyze the market demand for of the industries and the wood-based companies, even biofuel industries, gums and resin industries. All these things are coming from only the agroforestry tree species, the trees majorly grown on farmlands, including medicinal and aromatic plants. One of the stepped up uh, startup model could be agrotourism. Several agroforestry models are so beautiful, and also adopted in a manner that hectares and hectares of land under that particular model. So it becomes a viable unit for promoting agrotourism as well. So there is a lot of opportunities for the youngsters, rural youth, to take advantage of this position and move ahead to promote the tree-based farming in this country. While doing so, as Professor Mahendra Singh also said, pricing of the agroforestry produce has to be done pragmatically. Even we can, I don't know whether we can think of MSP to those produce as well. But nonetheless, as the world is becoming more digital, so we need to have market intelligence and blockchain technologies, so that we are able to trace the product that comes from a particular location and moving across the borders for trade and also market requirements. And these days, as we all know, this country is thinking of becoming self-sustainable, Atmanirbhar in oil, edible oils. So oil palm kicks in to be one of the promoted species crop. So oil palm is also, as we all know, it's a perennial crop. Also, although it has a decline after 30 years or so, but still it is a perennial crop ecologically, and it has a lot of opportunities. The government is also pushing a mission to promote growth and development of oil palms. In that sector, also quality planting material demand is manifold, which this country is not able to meet. We are thinking of importing those seedlings from desirable countries. So, tree-borne oil seeds is another sector where we can think of moving some startups. Farm Tree app is developed by our institute, Central Agroforestry Research Institute, which is available for free download in our website and also in Google Play Store. I request all of you to download this app. It's a very small, light app, but it has important information for any beginner on agroforestry. About 25 agroforestry tree species in complete sense has been given, and it also has a interactive platform where you can query and the experts will immediately answer to you in the app. So this is one of the important transition that we have had. So while thinking of issuing a digital atlas to this country, these kind of apps also will come to rescue for many of the agroforesters. And it is time to incentivize, because if it is giving more benefits, which we are also not able to see sometimes with our naked eyes. So it's time to incentivize the agroforestry practicing farmers, and it could be the best way for sustainable development too, because agroforestry almost addresses 13 of the 17 sustainable development goals placed on record, and targets have been set accordingly for our country. So we need to project agroforestry as a food for us, so that the livelihood, employment opportunity, income generating opportunities become more enterprising, more diverse, and um, give benefit to one and all. So what a tree can give, this picture is enough to depict that. So with this, I wish agroforestry becomes an option in all the government programs, including Manrega, where agroforestry could be easily promoted in parts of the country. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arnachalam. You have made a very, innovative, insightful, and also that, provoking youngsters and rural youths. And one such person, Mr. Perimbam, after he has spent about 25 years in multinational corporation, now he has now joined in doing some work in the relevant area, to do that. And I think today it is a very important, address which Dr. Ayanadar Arunachalam has done it. That we have been talking about rural development and livelihood opportunities and everything. And he said it very nicely that agroforestry pathways is more or less the best pathway for sustainable development. And he says that it addresses about 13 out of 17 sustainable development goals. So he also very nicely said it that it is a time to incentivize the agroforestry, that he has named it as, food forest. It is an important, naming which he has given it. It is an, important, topic. And I'm very happy that by taking agroforestry, because I was motivated by his own article, which has come in, in one of the popular scientific, journal, that how employment opportunities can be increased through agroforestry. So this was forwarded to me by the Honorable Chancellor, and even though I have been associated with ICAR since 1995 to bring in information ICT in ICAR in a very big manner, and I was quite attracted by his research paper. So now for the last 2 to 3 years, we have been interacting with him, and today I was able to have him on the on the university's national webinar series. Even though it is termed as national webinar series, but it is actually an international webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022. This topic is very important to summarize that. He said it very nicely that it's a time to encourage all stakeholders to come in consortium mode. Consortium of industrial agroforestry. And he said that it has to be upscaled, and agribusiness is the only headway. Agro-based industries is the market, and he is also mentioned about lot of 11 priority areas. And it is very important. He is also as a contribution from his premier institution that there is an app which is available for all rural youths to utilize it. That's called Farm Tree app, mobile app. So it is, Dr. Arunachalam, from my heart, I thank you for your wonderful address, and we have to work together, to bring in, because this doubling farmers' income by 2022 is now, as today, it is reached 19th edition. Every week on Thursday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., this topic is being talked about it. And Dr. Ashok Dalwai, the chairman of Empowered Committee, he has inaugurated this one on August 18, 2020. And he said in his communication that any technology which is being talked about in the webinar series will be adopted, and he will recommend, and he will see to that it gets operationalized. And he also said that Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, under this webinar series, it is doing a very systematic way of making the whole country to talk about doubling farmers' income by 2022, bringing in all experts, NGOs involved in grassroots level development, whether in terms of technology development or technology adoption or technology operationalization. And this is the only platform which is available in the country, and thanks to Corona, pandemic situation. Otherwise, we would have conducting this program in 5-star hotel, and it's now without loss of any time we are having it. But thank you very much. Now let me invite another young entrepreneur, Mr. Manika Vasagam Perinbam. Ms. Manika Vasagam Perinbam, I met him when I was addressing, in one of the mentors workshop organized by University of Agricultural Science, Bangalore. And Mr. Perinbam Manika Vasagam has got about 25 years of experience in the area of human resources development, L&D professional and consultant, and worked with IBM, Reliance, GMR Group, Lifestyle, and Toyota. A business-oriented professional with a strong driving skill and systematic experience. And he has now taken up, after 25 years of work, experience working with the multinational, now he has come to the grassroots level, and he has now taken up agroforestry and permaculture in the last few years. Mr. Perinbam, and we will be very happy to have. In Tamil, Perinbam means it is a version of happiness. It is not great happiness, it's a version of happiness. It's that's the word which is conveying, and we would like to hear your address, that how you are going to motivate rural youths. you know you have heard what Dr. Mahendra Singh said, it that how you can even not only double the farmers income, but it can be more than double, doubling. It can be income revolution. Second is that Dr. Arunachalam come out with lot of technologies which are available, methods, approaches. Then how a person, an NGO like you, you have worked with various multinational, how you are going to observe that the ideas and the views which have been expressed by both agriculture economists and an agriculture scientist said in this webinar series. Over to Mr. Pedin.
Thank you so much, Professor Moni, and Dr. Mahendra Singh and Dr. Arnachalam. It's a great privilege. First of all, I'm the most, highly, I feel very honored to be among such senior people in terms of agroforestry. Agroforestry for me, it is over the internet and Google and through my cousin who's a farmer, which I heard. But today, I feel that live experience with such heavyweights in the industry who have, so much of rich expertise and experience, we would be requiring your support too much. I'm just a new kid on the block. As Professor Moni said, I'm just a young entrepreneur. But my passion for farming brought me here today. 2-3 years back, when I wanted to resign from HR as a HR head and walk into the agroforestry, I didn't have any knowledge about, zero knowledge actually. I didn't know anything what agroforestry means also. So all we had was a relative's land of 24 acres, about 3,000 feet height near Kodaikanal. We didn't know what to do about it. It was a coffee plantation, and me and my cousin who studied for forestry farming, we just went and visited the land and we decided what should we do about it. Over a period of 6 months, when we saw the land, whatever Dr. Arnachalam, Dr. Mahendra Singh, and Dr. Moni had summarized in terms of agroforestry, one by one evolved in our knowledge, one by one. The first and foremost was the wood industry and the timber. The timber in demand very clearly, Dr. Mahendra Singh and Dr. Arnachalam and Professor Moni had said, the combined thing, it's perfectly what we are doing, planning to do with that particular property. And we plan to do about 1,000 acres in terms of carbon dioxide sequestration. That will be about 2.5 lakhs, which will eventually come to about 2.5 lakhs of trees. If I start today with about 100 acres or 200 acres, another 3-4 years we'll be comfortably able to do that with 1,000 acres. Companies, there are several companies in Bangalore, outskirts of Bangalore, where they have farmed about 1,000 farmlands in the last 6-7 years. But if I have to give you an overview of the industry today, specifically after the pandemic, many individuals have shown interest towards agroforestry. Though the terminology is new to them, they have done a lot of Google in terms of permaculture, but their love towards farming has become very foremost because they've understood the importance of food. Specifically, what Dr. Arnachalam said is food forestry. Now, where do this food grow is you need the level, nutrition levels. We can talk about hydroponic or polyphonic, but still nature is nature. So when we talk about afforestation, people love a beautiful place where naturally things grow. More than beyond organic, people have started looking at organic. Beyond organic, it is natural food, natural health, natural wellness. So these are things which have been very prominent. People have planned their retirement with the help of forestry farming. So when 2 years back we decided let trees be a primary importance in terms of that, because as Professor Mooney said, eventually it is not even doubling; it can go 4-5 times higher also. Some of the fast-growing trees where Dr. Arnachalam had given a list, specifically like bamboo, in terms of let it be a bamboo shoot or a bamboo tree. Bamboo tree has got a lot of industrial uses. Some of the industrial outcomes have a heavy demand in the chemical industry. specifically the fuel, as well as the carbon, as well as when you burn it and sell it as an industrial fuel, or let it be an industrial charcoal produce also. Health and wellness industries are very seriously looking at charcoal. You might have seen a lot about charcoal paste and charcoal things coming into the industry in a large scale way. Very clearly, the demand is very high if we are smartly farming. Thanks to Professor Moni, he gave me the idea. You should call yourself as smart hill farmers. You are doing agroforestry in hill station, so it should be a smart hill farming. If you are able to really bring in the technology and the websites and the support what Dr. Arunachalam had given, and the economics of that graph which I saw was phenomenally growing. These can all be implemented together, a blend of that old wisdom, what all the senior professors are giving us, and the natural living, plus the demand which is seeing today, the sudden demand, specifically after the pandemic. Agroforestry is future, is what I genuinely believe and honestly see that has got a tremendous growth. That's why we resigned and jumped into this business, as we call it. Agroforestry definitely will be a business. It will no more be a pain for the farmers, because we now have the technology. Now, to talk about timber, the next level only additionally to timber, we have thought about intercrops farming also in these particular locality. Hill stations, some of the hill stations have a very good distributed rainfall and a favorable climate. So we are not talking about a very high peak level, but we can talk about a moderate height of 2,000 to 3,000 feet, where the trees provide a genuine shade. We can talk about the 7 layers of permaculture. I will ask Manish to share a quick video which can summarize and people quickly able to connect what exactly the 7 layers, what Professor Moni was talking about, the shrubs or the under the root or the vineyards or the tall trees or the short trees. So if we have a combination of all that 7 layers, along with some quickly growing intercrops, this will be a perfect ecosystem which can be additionally value added with the livestock. So this is what our plan is. Now, to set up this system, currently outskirts of Bangalore and some of the farms which we visited, some are in Chandigarh also, took about 5 to 6 years to establish this ecosystem of the 7 layers along with livestock. But somewhere with the help of technology and all with our senior people present here, if we can fast track this along with smart farming, definitely we should be able to do it in a 3 year tenure. Now, the challenge here with agroforestry is the time period, the time consumption, where the farmer has to be patient. But of course, his patient has also brings him a lot of revenue, because what the trees fetched 50 years back is what the tree is fetching after 50 years is going to be completely different, right? So, and plus always the land, a fertile land has always been added asset to individuals. Many individuals have started showing interest into the system. So what we intend to do is that we intend to have this permaculture, which I can ask Manish to share a quick video, which is for only for 30 seconds, and then we can probably, tell us where exactly our plans in terms of harvester agri-ventures are moving into. Manish, can you share us that video of the 2611? Manish, you can share the other video also. If you can share the other video also, please.
I think Rana Pratap sir would be giving the right answer.
Thank you so much, Manish, for playing the video for us. That's a very brief introduction how we have been promoting agroforestry over Facebook for the last 1 year. People are now they're very much aware that we are very serious about this farming. So we have told people to pick up 1 acre. We will take care of that entire forestry farming for them because many of them are corporate professionals who are working. We have approached corporates as well as we have approached individual investors also to invest in this. So there will be a huge livelihood and benefit a lot of farmers and benefit, create a lot of jobs in this space because this is completely an unexplored territory. And I feel that still we have a very long way to go. Just to touch upon one final point, what Dr. Arnachalam had shown in his slide, we plan to promote intensely agritourism because today the only aspect of farming, the farming is a time-consuming job. Now, till this trees grows, till this plants fetches some, we want to bring in agritourism as a major revenue with a lot of additional tourism, which will attract tourists, and it will be a huge learning curve for individuals in terms of understanding what agroforestry is. Our intention, we cannot do this 1,000 acres alone. We need a lot of individual people as well as we need a lot of investors and we need a lot of support from universities and other people to make this a success. So what we have been approaching everyone, and hopefully we are on the verge of starting the first agroforestry unit with the 24 acres in Kodaikanal. Anytime we would be beginning the work by clearing and taking care of the existing trees as well as planting new trees. And within a year, started with intercrops. And the end of 1.5 to 2 years, it will be a small hub 24-acre small village where people can visit the place and understand what are the 7 layers with some livestock and other things. If I have to say, I intend to within 3 to 3.5 years we intend to showcase this particular hub as an agri-tourism hub in that place, as a model smart village, smart hill village, not to miss Professor Moni's words. And if I have to summarize, I think all the three speakers before me had given me enough of expertise in the last few years to ensure that this practically can be deployed in the coming 1 year. And in addition to our efforts in terms of reaching about 3 lakh people in social media, we have also spent a lot of hours counseling each and every person who approached us to pick up 1 acre of piece of land as a retirement investment, in educating them what is agroforestry. So, the fundamental aspect, as I see as an entrepreneur, as I see this as a growing business, uh, many of them are not aware about it. They get information in bits and pieces, but they really do not understand the nitty-gritties of what exactly agroforestry means, specifically in terms of pain and the challenges what the industry goes through. Like a few of the points where we now have an app, like we need a lot more things, support from the government, etc., etc., funding from private people and funding from abroad also. So it's a long journey from here. The pandemic has taught us a lot of things apart from not being in five-star hotels and having online conferences. It has taught us the importance of nature. Is 90% of the people from the towns have fled back to their villages and they saw their villages. Luckily for us, we started hearing the birds chirping again. So now that has brought us gone back to nature living, and the generation next is definitely not looking at concrete jungles. I don't think the modern amenities of an apartment, as I think it will reach one point of saturation where people would keep this as, okay, I would like to probably be in summer in a concrete jungle and then spend remaining time of my life in a agroforest. So I think this revolution or the reverse is the future, is what I very strongly believe in, because that's what I hear now from many people. Yes, I would like to work from an environment which is more favorable and give me a healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. So our intention is basically to build that. that agroforest and create minimum 10 or 20 hubs in the next 4 to 5 years, where each one will be called as a mini village, to start off with at least employing at least around 100 people in each hub. Technologically, yes, we want to be beyond what is the expectation of today. We are not just talking only about drones spraying pesticide or a fertilizer. We will be really talking about the health of the farm, the health of each and everything we plant there, along with the livestock. Fetching a good amount of tourists to create that hub, uh, a self-sustainable revenue generating hub is what I really is my vision. That particular 25-acre or 100-acre farm or a smart village should be able to sustain itself in terms of everything, in terms of produce, in terms of revenue, etc., etc. So this is exactly a beginning. So this is what I would really wanted to share with all of you. And more than me sharing, it's been a great privilege. It's been a great honor to be among such heavyweights, the three of the very senior people from the industry. I never dreamt about it till Professor Moni said that, I have to give a speech. I said, so you're calling a guy who doesn't know anything about agroforestry. So for me, it's a great honor, and it is a great beginning for me, sir. Looking forward for all your support in the future, and I would like to, with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and looking forward for more such. Probably next time when I come, I would really like to share more some real lifetime experiences. Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perinbam Manikavasaham. And I'm very happy to integrate you with the very big stalwart, Dr. Arunachalam, as well as Dr. Mahendra Singh, and you got a real inspiration. This is what the university would like to do it. Like Dr. Arunachalam said it, that agroforestry pathways for sustainable development. He also said it that agroforestry gives to nature and nature will give back to you. And this is what you also said it. And you also took inspiration from the graphical representation of what Dr. Mahendra Singh said it. Thank you very much. Please stay with us. Honorable Chancellor has joined, and he was always he has been on the backstage for the last 2 hours. And now let us have his valedictory address. And let me introduce the Honorable Chancellor of the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Sri Kanvarshekhar Vijendra, to the audience. Dr. Sri Kanvarshekhar Vijendra is the co-founder and Chancellor of Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a NAC accredited deemed to be university, and also the Chancellor of Soviet University, Gango, Uttar Pradesh. He is a prominent social entrepreneur based in New Delhi and carries leadership roles in many organizations. He has been nominated as the co-chairman of National Council on Education of ASSOCHAM, the oldest apex chamber of commerce in India for the year 2020-2021. Shri Kanvarshekhar Vijendra is a persistent advocate of initiatives for education for all, secular values, crisis management through diplomatic and peaceful ways, and globalized system of learning and harmonious coexistence. He has been instrumental in the development of a number of higher education institutions in North India, including 2 universities, many research centers, and Ayurvedic Medical College, College of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences, and a 100-bed hospital. In addition to that, he was instrumental in establishing 4 centers of excellence to provide technology to the rural youth, namely Center for Agriculture Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Technology, Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications. He has been very actively involved with a number of social organizations. Acknowledging his contribution in the areas of education and other concerns, he has been copiously honored and awarded. He has traveled widely in India and abroad to many countries like United States of America, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, Russia, China, South Korea, Vietnam, Mongolia, United Arab Emirates, and Mauritius, Rwanda, Uganda, and Croatia, to participate in various professional, social, and educational activities. Shri Kanwar Shekhar Vijendra is a passionate Gandhian, avid reader, keen learner, social speaker, occasional poet, and a dreamer. We are always very much pleased to hear the address of the Honorable Chancellor, Shri Kanwar Shekhar Vijendra of the university. And today it is a very important topic that how to realize the economic benefits of agroforestry systems. You have an environmental benefits, economic benefits, and social benefits. And all the three speakers today, our panel members, Dr. Ayanadan Arunachalam, the Director, Central Agroforestry Research Institute of ICAR, Dr. Mahendra Singh, former, principal scientist and agriculture economist of National Institute of Agriculture, Agriculture Policy, Research, and of ICAR, and the youngster, who has left his multinational job and has gone back to, agroforestry system in Kodaikanal, Mr. Perimbam Manikavasagan. So we would like to, have the address of the Honorable Chancellor. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Manu. It is indeed a pleasure to meet Dr. Arunachalam, however, virtually after a long time. We met last time in Arunachal Pradesh, in Namsai, during one of the convocation of a upcoming emerging university. Dr. Mahendra Singh, it was indeed a pleasure to listen to your work, exposure, and experience, and all your learnings. And I'm happy that today we have a young entrepreneur, Mr. Perimbam, with us. Professor Moni said that he left his multinational job, but be sure you have joined a multi-million trade. This agroforestry is such opportunity which need to be explored and exposed to the world uh, by young people like you. So first of all, let me thank all the wonderful speakers today, those who spared their time and shared their wisdom with the audience, with the university. Thank you, Professor Moni, for starting this national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture, through your Center for Agriculture Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. It is indeed a great job what you are doing with the help of wonderful experts, senior people around in the area. When Honorable Prime Minister mentioned about his aspiration few years back that we have to double the income of the farmers by 2022. Maximum of the people around, they were not believing it. They were telling how it is possible. Doubling the income of farmers? No, it is not possible. They are the people, those who work hard, but always remain on the last step of the society. But after listening to all these 19 webinars, experts coming from different areas, and especially today, I am sure that we can not only double the income of our farmers, we can triple or we can do wonders with the farmers and their economic status. We have to make them understand. I'm not a student of agriculture, but when agroforestry is concerned, there is a law of nature which says if you try to work independent, you will be in isolation. The nature is interdependent. Everybody has to depend on each other. And this very basic law of the nature is what agroforestry is all about. That everything, whatever has to be there, it has to come together. It is not in isolation. I can have crops, I can have this thing or that thing. Trees have to be there, plants have to be there, shops have to be there, hubs have to be there. Everything has to come together to create a meaningful ecosystem and economical model. So this is such a great interaction today because I was trying to find out what may be the benefits. And generally, what is happening, where the challenge is today, that we all are working in isolation. Our research institutions, they are working in isolation. Our academic institutions, they are working in isolation. Our entrepreneurs, they are working in isolation. And what is happening many times, either a repetitive effort is there, we are doing duplicate things, or we are not able to integrate the knowledge created by different bodies. I am happy that in this budget announcements, Honorable Finance Minister, she has talked about a umbrella structure for the institutions in the same city. Wherever there are umbrella structures, where there are institutions, government institutions, there will be umbrella structure. And I am advocating from last many years to develop a knowledge grid in this country. As we have electric grids, a knowledge grid. Wherever whatever knowledge has been created, let it be transferred. Wherever there is infrastructure resources available, let them be used by others. We are sitting in Meerut, and many things which we cannot afford to do, actually we cannot create that infrastructure, maybe due to financial constraint at this stage. IIT Delhi may be having, IARI may be having. So that grid has to be there. Okay, whatever resources are there for knowledge creation, for innovation, for monetization of the innovation, they have to come together. And this webinar series is one such effort. Because here, if we look at all those 19 webinars, not only academicians came there, bureaucrats were there, technocrats were there, farmers were there, social advocates were there, scientists were there, policymakers were there, entrepreneurs were there, agri-tech people were there, and those who aspire to do something were there. And I am seeing the impact of these webinars because when I talk to the students in the university back, they are keen to have them as a project. Because like if I look at agroforestry traits, you all know better than me, but intentional, intensive, interactive, integrated. These four things have to come together. That we have to make our farmers understand that intentionally we have to do this combination of the things. Intensively we have to do in this country. Interactive, it has to be there. Integrated, it has to be there, not only with our ecological systems, but with technology also today. And as the young entrepreneur said, investment. I am sure that wherever there is a new idea, investment will come. A lot of people are sitting with money, they do not know what to do. They are looking forward for people, okay, somebody will come with an idea and I will invest in that. See what is happening, like these young boys and girls with the startups. And suddenly we see they were Baiju, okay, what is the worth? Few $1 billion, what they have? Be it Uber, be it so many things are there, but in agri sector, generally what is happening, that whatever technologies we developed, we thought that we will develop ICT enabled technology, and suddenly every farmer will start understanding that and using that. It is not possible actually. Sitting in Delhi, sitting in our wonderful institutions, yes, we talk about that. We have to see on the ground what Professor Arunachalam was mentioning. We have to go on the ground and see what actually is happening there and what is required. Secondly, we all have to see that one size cannot fit all. It means everywhere, especially in agroforestry also, we have to ensure that what is required in that area, if it is Cochin, it is different, it is Kerala, it is Tamil Nadu, or now Dr. Arunachalam is sitting in Jhansi, so it needs completely different agroforestry. Chambals are there. So that has to be seen, and our agri-tech has to ensure that thing, that awareness has to be created. And thank you very much, because all three pillars of climate smart agriculture, be it productivity, adoption, or mitigation, agroforestry, address all these issues. We have to make our students understand first, and we have to see that in our institutions, especially universities where we are teaching this BSc agriculture, MSc agriculture, we have to see that we give a motivation to our boys and girls, that instead of become a salesman selling some seed somewhere, fertilizer, or doing something, come and do innovation. What at Shobit University we are trying to do, that out of every webinar, we are trying to develop some projects. And those projects cannot be developed by the university itself. Because those who are teaching, they are teachers. They are not scientists like Dr. Mahendra Singh. They are not technocrat scientists like Dr. Arunachalam. They do not wish to risk their multinational job to do something which is crazy. It means we have to come together. And this coming together is my request. What I request to all three of you, that if we can develop some micro certifications with your institutions, with your expertise, with your understanding of the subject, and we launch them, maybe in the form of MOOCs, and we start that, awareness starts coming, interest will be generated, then only the purpose of these webinars, these efforts, these spending of 2 important hours of you all will be meaningful for us. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to meet all of you personally very soon. Dr. Arunachalam, personally, like, it is overdue, we have to meet soon. And Dr. Mahendra Singh and Mr. Perrin, I will love to meet you sometime soon and discuss further how university can be a platform for doing those experiments. Those may be in back of your mind, but you are not able to do due to other engagements. Because I have seen Professor Moni when he was DG and IC. We used to talk a lot, but I am seeing he's more productive now. When the system has retired him, he has become more productive now. He is able to do more things, whatever he wanted to do. So I do not wish that you should wait for that day once you will retire and then only you will do what you wanted to do. Let us start doing it, and university is available as a platform to do all those experiments. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much. It is pleasure
Dhanyavad.
indeed for me, for
Dhanyavad.
everybody. Thank you. Namaste.
So nice of you.
Very much for your very impressive address to the audience. And I thank Honorable Chancellor, Subit University, Dr. Ayanadar Arunachalam, the Director, Central Agroforestry Research Institute of ICAR, Dr. Mahendra Singh, and Mr. Perimpam Manikavasam for participating in this very important webinar on the topic realizing economic benefits of agroforestry. The bottom line today which we have got is that it is not only doubling the farmers income, but it can it can revolutionize farmers income and farm income. So I think, as very nicely suggested by the Honorable Chancellor, that agroforestry under the new paradigm of new educational policy 2020, it needs micro certification on agroforestry, sorry, in all aspects, to be conveyed to the rural youths. And when Dr. Arunachalam said it, that it takes care of 13 out of 17 sustainable development goals. So it's a very important area that, we have to work together. And I'll be very happy that maybe by June 2021, we should be in a position to launch this micro certification on agroforestry to motivate, as I said it, that one for every gram panchayat on agri-tech startup in agroforestry should be, facilitated, and the networking of, Central Agroforest Research Institute and the 4 centers of excellence in Sobit University, and Dr. Mahendra Singh and Mr. Perinbam as an NGO. He said it very nicely that within 3 to 3.5 years, he wanted to make his 24 acres of land for in Kodaikanal as an agro-tourism center. And then he has got another 1,000 acres he would like to get into that agroforestry. Then finally, I thank all the 3, panel members and our honorable chancellor to remind the whole nation that agroforestry gives to nature, and nature pays back to the, human being. Thank you very much for participation, and for further inquiries, please write to the Sobit University under the email address moni@sobituniversity.ac.in. Thank you very much. We close the seminar and leave the studio. Thanks for your participation. From Sobit University. For more such, please contact Professor Moni Madaswamy, Professor Emeritus and Chairman, Center for Agricultural Informatics and Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. Email ID is moni@sobituniversity.ac.in. Good day. Thank you very much.